Hey everyone, welcome back to Corporate Decoder, the place where we decode the corporate world. Today we are diving into a report from Harmony Biosciences, and let me tell you, it is not always harmonious when you are looking at the numbers. Just kidding, or am I? We will see. Today we are cracking open Harmony Biosciences Form 8K. This is basically a corporate bat signal. Companies use it to tell investors about big news that might affect their stock. This one was filed late February of 2025, so it is fairly recent. The report kicks off by telling us the important date, February 25, 2025. This is when the events they are reporting actually happened. Think of it like the date on a news article. Harmony Biosciences, the company we are focusing on today, is officially registered in Delaware, and they have a file number and an employer identification number, but those are just details for the paperwork nerds. Their main office is in Plymouth Meeting, Pennsylvania. Good to know if you want to send them a fruit basket or maybe a strongly worded letter, but probably do not do that. Next, there is a section with a lot of checkboxes, basically asking if this filing is also meant to cover some other legal requirements. It is like saying, hey, we are killing two birds with one stone here. But all the boxes are empty, so no double duty this time. The report then mentions their stock called common stock and the trading symbol HRMY. You will find that on the Nasdaq Global Market, which is where people buy and sell shares of Harmony Biosciences. Now we get to the interesting part. Item 2.02 is about their financial results. Harmony put out a press release talking about how they did in the last quarter of 2024 and the entire year. We will dig into that soon. Next up is item 7.01 about something called Regulation FD disclosure. This is a rule that says companies have to be fair when sharing information with investors. Harmony posted a presentation on their website for investors. They will probably use this presentation when talking to people about the company. The important thing here is that they are promising not to play favorites. Everyone gets the same information at the same time. They do point out that the information in the presentation is just a summary, so you need to look at their official filings with the SEC, the Securities and Exchange Commission, for the full story. They are also saying they might update the presentation later, but they are not promising to do it. Also, there is some legal stuff about forward-looking statements, which basically means they are making predictions about the future, and those predictions might not come true. Companies always include this kind of warning to protect themselves from lawsuits if things do not go as planned. They say things like, our crystal ball is a little foggy, so do not blame us if we are wrong. Now we get to item 9.01, which lists the exhibits attached to the report. These are extra documents that provide more details. There is a press release and an investor presentation, which we already talked about, and something called an interactive data file, which is for computers to read. Exhibit 99.1 is the press release with the financial results. Let us dive in. The headline says it all. Harmony Biosciences is reporting their financial results for the fourth quarter and the entire year of 2024. The CEO is quoted as saying they are very pleased with our strong performance. Of course, they would say that. Let us see if the numbers back it up. Here are some actual numbers. Their total revenue, which is the money they brought in, was about $162 million for the last 3 months of 2024. That is compared to about $121 million for the same period the year before. So they definitely made more money. That is good. Their net income, which is the profit they actually get to keep after paying all the bills, was about $33 million. That is also up from about $27 million the year before. So they are not just making more money, they are keeping more of it. Also good. For the entire year, their total revenues were about $575 million compared to $442 million the previous year. So the whole year was better than the year before. The press release goes on to talk about their key product Accession and how well it is doing. Accession is a medication for people with narcolepsy to help them stay awake. They also mention their pipeline, meaning they are working on new products. They are expecting some good news catalysts in 2025. Exhibit 99.2 is the investor presentation. It looks like we are going to be going into a lot of the same details, but in a graphical form that is easier to understand. Finally, the report ends with a signature from Sandeep Kapadia, the Chief Financial Officer and Chief Administrative Officer. This is like saying, I promise all this information is true and correct, so help me, corporate overlords. So what is the big picture here? Harmony Biosciences had a pretty good year in 2024. They made more money, they kept more money, and they are optimistic about the future. Their main product, Wakix, seems to be doing well, and they are working on new stuff. Now, for my take, Harmony Biosciences looks like a strong company in a growing market. Narcolepsy is a real problem for a lot of people, and Wakix seems to be helping them. The company is not just relying on one product, they are investing in research and development to create new medications. The numbers do not lie, their revenue and profits are up, which is always a good sign. Of course, there are always risks. The pharmaceutical industry is very competitive. They are going up against other companies that are also trying to develop new treatments for narcolepsy. Also, government regulations can change, which could affect their business. They also need to be sure to do clinical trials and other regulatory steps. Overall, I am cautiously optimistic about Harmony Biosciences. They have a good product, a strong financial position, and a plan for the future. But like any investment, there are risks involved, so you need to do your own research before putting your money in. Thanks for watching Corporate Decoder. If you enjoyed this video, please like, subscribe, and leave a comment below. Let me know what other companies you want me to decode.